The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more, episode number 357 on this 18th day of December 2023. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. You still got time for stocking stuffers, Christmas gifts, whatever it is over at SeatGeek, and save yourself some bucks and get some Mandarin oranges there for the holiday season, Dave, like we talked about the other day. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles, other great podcasts that are over there. And thanks very much for everybody who's taking time out of their holiday season, busy shopping, putting up decorations, moving, doing whatever you're doing for putting us in your ears each and every day from all of us here at 1420 World Headquarters, which, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube, there's not much going on down here, Dave. We're down to the core four and Tino Martinez over my shoulder, and that's it. She's Wednesday morning. We take possession of the new place, and that's her, man. The where it all started. You'll never see these dwellings again come Wednesday, I guess.
So what you
where
do?
It all
you
started
just
4 years ago. Yeah.
You had a garage sale or something like that, or you just let people take the shit and get it out of here?
I couldn't give it away, Dave. Like, it's fucking Yankee shit. I couldn't give this crap away. It's like, Jesus, I had to pay them to take it. It's one of those things. I seeing some kid walking down the street, say, do you want this? You want that? They were more than happy. I gave them $20. It was a flea market per se, a reverse flea market, one of those things.
You were that A-Rod ball though, eh?
No, I couldn't give that away. A kid threw it at me.
If I could find it in the windshield.
Yeah, he was going through his tickle truck of crap that I gave him. He found the A-Rod ball. He whipped it at me and broke something. So I got to pay some money for that. But whatever, one of those deals. Dave, how was the Christmas party this weekend you went to?
It was. I had a really good time. Saturday turned into a shift. It was double Christmas party. It was last Saturday curling before the Christmas break. So got a curl. And then we have Chinese food and door prizes. And so it turned into a shift for old Davey boy on Saturday. Cracked my first beer at 11:30 in the a.m.
Attaboy.
And drained the last eggnog of the night. No, it was rum. I had switched to rum. Just that was about 1:00. So there was some cocktails. Yeah, there were some cocktails with a meal and a half in there. Like, so it wasn't just
that breaks her down a little bit. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we had Chinese food at the curling event, and oh man, those deep fried wontons. I think I've said it before. I can eat those until I puke, and I got a good base. So by the time I got to the work Christmas party, I wasn't sober by any stretch, but I had a good base to attack for round two.
You were maybe a little more personable than usual, is what I'm getting at. Not that you weren't a personal guy at the best of times, but you were a little more joyous, I guess, is the time of year to say.
Yeah, but everybody was joyous. It was a fest. Everybody gets along quite well. Small party, like there was only 20 people there, with better halves and stuff. So it was a good night. And yeah, there was definitely 3 or 4 people a little bit more joyous than I was, but I was tired. I got home and went right to fucking bed. Papa had
that's crazy. We had Deanne's party the Saturday before, like we talked about last week, and like you're like it used to be when you get to 1:00, like, hey, let's do something. So I'll go to. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna jump in the cab and I'm going home, and I don't even know if I'm gonna take my suit off. I'm probably gonna put my toes up, and however I wake up, I'm gonna wake up. If I'm in bed or on the having a snacky poo on the couch or whatever it might be, when it's over, she's over now. Like I can't ramp it up twice. You know what I mean? Like you said, you ramped it up the second time around. You're at the curling rink, and then you left. You went home, probably changed clothes, ramp her up again, and then go. After this second see you later, that's it. I'm not going to a third location. Not a chance.
Oh, no chance. Yeah, there was rumblings. Some people wanted to go to the casino and like, what, you're gonna go home, old man? Yes.
Yep.
I don't, yeah, I fucking just put in a 12-hour shift, and Papa's tired. I'm going home to bed.
Yeah, it gets to that point now. I'm very like, people actually know that I'm not. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to a new location after probably 10:30. This is my last stop before I go home. It's got to be something fucking special for me to trip the Light Fantastic for a third locale. There's no getting.
Oh yeah, even pouring a drink after midnight's a pretty rare occasion these days for this guy. So, yeah. The fact I kept her going that long is, it was festive and you're having a good time, but then also like it's time to go home because all the shit. Because I was busy. I went into work for 3 hours on Saturday morning, came home, showered, went curling. Well, then I helped set up this party, and then I had to go curl, and then came home, another party. Like, I had no time to take care of shit at the house, so that means I had shit to do on Sunday and slept in a little bit and fuck. I just.
I had the
to-do list.
Like we're moving everything else, and that's all taken over. Then I had baseball umpire clinic on Sunday morning, and we had a beer afterwards and sitting around talking. So I won't see those guys. I see them all year long. I won't see them again probably the new year. And I had a beer and had another, and then I was like, you know what? If I have one more, I probably won't get anything done the rest of the day. I'll see you guys later. Like, we had 2 beers each. I gotta go. Like, that. If we keep going, the festive spirit the festive cheer will keep going. And when I get home, there'll be nothing done. So, and I'm gonna get my butt kicked for that. From not she doesn't get mad, but you know what I mean. Like,
it has to get done before.
It has to get done. And this time of year is busy, right? It's one of those things. So, one of those.
How many TVs are operational in the tavern now?
Right now, there is only the one. There's only the one TV. Usually you have 3 or 4 going on down here, but I only got the one, the main one sitting down here. So there's no hockey game on. I got the football game on, the NFL game that I can care. That Philadelphia is whatever, and the Seahawks are fraudulent and everything else. And Dave, I gotta say, when it was all said and done yesterday, it was segue into the NFL, our weekly 14-20, week 15, I think it was this week. I gotta say, at around 1:45 yesterday afternoon, the air went out of the balloon for me for the NFL season, as I didn't fare so well in the old football pool. I was 3 out to start the day. I had a good Saturday, 3 for 3, and then the air went out of the balloon yesterday. It's just like that. It's like sitting on a whoopee cushion, man. She was all over but the crying.
Well, it's become a lot harder, right? You went from I checked the standings before we got on here today. You were 3 back in the lead, and now you are 6. So you gotta be.
It ain't over.
No, but you're aiming at the pin all the way. None of this fucking 2-putting. You got to drain a couple of snakes there and coming home. So
yeah, the AFC and the NFC South kind of, because they're both fraudulent divisions. They both because they both had big wins yesterday. I don't know if they're big wins or just wins yesterday. And then I drank the Tommy DeVito Kool-Aid a little too much, and I took the Giants, and that might have been the dagger in the fucking old chest for that one, because I blew it. I went for it yesterday, and it didn't work. There were some other guys who got some wrong, but yeah, it was. It doesn't matter. I could care less. So the money's nice, whatever, a couple bucks here and there. But
you do care, like you say, you want to win, and it's not over.
No, you want to win, and you'd rather have $1,000 in your pocket than not have $1,000
But you were feeling it a little bit and got a little.
But I was like, I kind of had. I was doing some dancing, little mojo. It's like, hey, if I pick this, and then it just went for shit yesterday, especially when it went 3 for 3. On Saturday, I was like, okay. But I think everybody, pretty much, not everybody, but most people did. And then, it went shitty on fucking on Sunday for me. But we'll try again next year. I might get into the money a little still. Who knows what's going to happen? But Dave, let's start with Saturday. Your Denver Broncos. They didn't play well. And there was a situation where Coach Sean Payton and your main man Wilson were yelling at each other on the sidelines. Actually, no, Wilson was getting yelled at by Payton. What do you think that conversation? I saw it. What do you think that conversation was about? Or you might have read something that said what it was about.
You know, I did see the highlight, but I'll be honest. As far as Saturday football goes, I'm at a loss because that game
you were busy.
Yeah, I was busy. My second party started at 6:30. That game started at 6:15 local time. So I checked the score at halftime, and then I didn't check it again, and that I don't know what happened. Unlike that beatdown by Miami, where I went back and watched the game, I'm not going to fuck it. I was too busy. I don't want to watch because that's a heartbreaker. I had called it a couple weeks ago. If Denver can go into Detroit and win that game, they're making the playoffs. And they laid a fucking egg. And I read some shit about like Peyton and Peyton and Wilson being on different pages at times. There was a couple times where Peyton Manning, Sean Payton should have maybe challenged for overruled touchdowns that looked like they might have been touchdowns. I don't know what happened, but that's fucking heartbreaking. I don't think the Lions are a very good team, and you can't go and lay a fucking egg when the playoffs are on the line. And this one's heartbreaking because, you know, after that abysmal start from this team, they gave me a little bit of hope. And that's the fucking worst when the teams do that to their fan base. They just dangle that little bit of hope, and like the ears perk up, your tail starts wiggling, and then you're fucking going to a vet to get your nuts cut off.
You know, and that's the thing about sports that kind of makes me laugh. And it's every team that's a contender or pretender, and not bad teams or fans of bad teams. They don't have that hope. But it's funny when you season starts and you go, you know, we're not that bad, and then it gets going. Okay, we're that bad, and then you win a few. You know, we're not that bad, and then you start becoming a mathematician. And like, yeah, you know what? If we win this one, or these three, or whatever it might be, whether it be baseball, hockey, football, whatever it might be, okay, if we win that one, like once you become a mathematician, we said it before in the show. Once you become a mathematician, your team's fucked. Your team isn't very good. Like that's just fact. Like, they just aren't. When you start thinking about, okay, we win this one, we win that one, but we can lose this one, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you know, if they would have won that one if they would have won that one, and then they got the Raiders, they got the Chargers, and I don't know I forget who else they play, but it's very they went out, and then they're gonna pass somebody. Like, not everybody's gonna win out, right? And it was there for them, and now it's still possible, but they need help. But if this is the shit you're gonna show me on a must-win game, do I want to see them? Do I want to see them go to I don't know, Baltimore for a game? Fuck no, because that's going to be ugly. Yeah. The
speaking of the AFC, like you just talked about there, Dave. Like yesterday, the biggest takeaway for me yesterday is we'll get to our frauds, favorites, and F that team, which we do every Monday night here at 1420 podcast. But yesterday, there was a team that everybody's like, who the hell are these guys? And that's the Buffalo Bills. They didn't pass because they didn't have to, because they ran all over the Dallas Cowboys, who I've been my favorite for a few weeks now here and there. But they passed they passed 7 or 8 times, was all Josh Allen had, 4 receptions, and they blew out the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. And they aren't in a playoff spot yet, but yet there's people talking, the talking heads on everywhere else saying, you know what, if this Bills team gets in, they're going to be something. They're going to be tough to beat in the AFC. I get it. I understand it, but there's a reason why you're in the situation you are, that if you have to win out basically to get in, because they're 8-7 right now, I think it is. So they need a couple of wins to get in, and they beat a decent Dallas. Like I thought it was a very good Dallas team, but now it's a good Dallas team, and they beat Kansas City, who's okay but not great. They're not great. Let's not kid ourselves that Kansas City's kind of they're okay. What are the Buffalo Bills? Honestly, what are they?
They're a team with a lot of potential. I agree. Like, that's a team. I don't think I'd want to play them in the first round. I
wouldn't want to play them, but I also wouldn't want to put $10 down on them.
No. They're by no means a lock, right? And that's that kind of team that might come in as an underdog. Well, as a visitor on the first game of Wild Card weekend, pull the upset, and then go and lay a big fat fucking egg the very next weekend.
And no one would be surprised.
And no one would be surprised, right? That's a team, Buffalo, to me. I'm not going to call it an identity crisis. I'm going to just, like, they read their own press, right? Everybody they want, they love it when people call them great. They love it when people are saying they're a contender and a Super Bowl possible team, and then they start thinking that people are going to hand over and lay down. They forget that you really have to go in there fully prepared, ready to kick some ass, keep your fucking foot on their throats, and then show people how good you are. It's one of those teams, right? I've said it before. Don't tell me how good you are. Show me how good you are. And when they do, they are a very scary, good-looking football team. Fun team to watch, too. But when they want to just go by their platitudes, and
changing latitudes, changing attitudes, yeah.
Expect people to lay down for them because we're the Bills and we're this fucking good. They gotten punched in the mouth a couple times this year by like the teams like the Broncos, and they lost to the fucking Patriots. Like, that's inexcusable. Though just those two games right there, and they're sitting fat and sassy challenging Baltimore for the 1 seed overall.
But that's the thing. They're not, right? They're not. Like, you can say whatever you want. They're not. And you can't get away from that. They're not. They've been poised to be Super Bowl champions for 2.5 years now, everything else, but they're just not. And like I said, I wouldn't put down $10 on these guys, because next week you never know what the fuck they might put out. Is Allen's going to be the new gunslinger, and you don't know, because he forces the issues a lot. You don't, and if they lose next week, we fire the coach right now for the playoffs. Because people have been looking to hang him up for like 6 weeks now. Like, it's just an odd situation where they look so good, and they probably look better than they are because maybe Dallas isn't very good on the road, right? Which I've never said that about sports, how you're so much better. Maybe you can explain this to me, like how I know you're more comfortable at home and you sleep in your own bed, blah, blah, blah. But how teams have such strange home versus road metrics, I will never understand that. I never in my life, I will never understand that. You're a professional, especially in football, where you're only playing fucking 17 games. So you have some years you have 9, some years you have 8. And it's not like you're on the road for a long period of time. Like you're going there on Thursday night or Friday night, whatever it might be. So you have 2 nights away or a night and a half away, and you're back home anyways. I've never understood yes, the crowd gets into it a little bit, but the crowds are loud everywhere. Like the road home metrics in football is a mystery to me.
No, I think it makes a ton of sense. Like it's the home crowd definitely energizes you, and it's positive energy coming your way. I also believe it has a significant effect on the way officials call a game, right? Even though they are neutral, even though they don't want to, it's just in human nature that you want to please people. And then, you throw a flag, you'd rather hear people cheer than fucking rain booze down on you, right? And I get it. It's a job, and they're not supposed to be affected, but they are. And especially if you're not,
there is no matter what sport, there is home cooking. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, and for on the offensive side of the ball, right, it's a lot easier to communicate and switch plays at the line and call your audibles, like all this silent count and stuff like that. I don't think the players practice and are well rehearsed as they used to be. And if you're not fully in sync of knowing exactly what everything does, you got a couple fucking dummies out there, Kadarius Toney, that don't know where their role is and what their assignments are, and you make stupid fucking mistakes.
2 weeks in a row that we know that guy's name. We shouldn't know the guy's name, right?
Oh yeah, pretty good for a guy that doesn't know how to catch and getting paid $4 or $5 million a year, right? And costing your team wins. Yeah, I don't know.
But the home field advantage thing, I just find it odd because like there's got to be that feel when you roll into an opposing team's field, and let's shove it up these fuckers' ass, and let's fucking shut this crowd up, and let's show them who we are. And I don't think that's that gets enough play anymore.
Right, like come in and announce your presence with authority.
With authority,
show them that we're here to play and we mean business and we don't give a shit. We'll play them at our place, your place, or in the parking lot. It doesn't matter. We're here to kick your fucking ass. And as well as Dallas has played this year, they're 3-3 on the road, and a team that wants to make noise in the playoffs should not be getting their ass kicked by 21 points. It's like you could lose a game here and there to a good team, but to get your ass handed to you, that shows me that you're not ready to take the next step.
Well, it's not just that. It's like all of a sudden Dak Prescott, because there's not too many quarterbacks over there. And let's not kid ourselves. The MVP is the best quarterback in the league, right? It's every year, no matter what. And not many quarterbacks, especially this late in the season. It's like with college football. It depends when you lose a game, right? If this game was that the Dallas lost week 3, people forget about it by week 16, 17. But Dak Prescott got his ass kicked in week 15, whatever it is, and so the voters remember that, right? It's one of those things. So he could probably kiss his MVP chances goodbye.
Especially like the highest scoring offense, averaging 35, 40. First in this, first in that, like great defense. They got beat up on both sides of the ball. And that's the other thing Buffalo did. If they can, any team could win if they can rush for over 200 yards a game. That doesn't happen too much anymore. And you're not even forcing Josh Allen to make bad decisions, which is another thing, right? So once that snowball starts rolling downhill, it's coming in with pretty big and a force by the end of the game there.
It's funny to see the some teams that are just perpetually bad. Like it's at that point now where this team's bad again, this team's bad again, and it's not a surprise again. But the one that and I don't think this is because who the quarterback is. I think this team is just bad. And it would be fun to see like the hindsight's 2020 thing to see how it would have rolled with Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. But fuck me, man, that's 13 years in a row not in the playoffs. And Zach Wilson, like, yeah, there's speculation that he's concussed, but he's not really. He's like, you know what, I'm good. I'm just out because fuck you, fuck this, and everything else. It's and I wouldn't put it past that little prick to do something like that, because not that you can fake concussion protocol, but and I'm not besmirching people who have concussions, but if you really wanted to sideswipe the medical, you probably could. And Wilson's that kind of a guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with any kind of speculation like that, but it's funny how he's shown glimpses of it in 3-4 different games, and he has a shitty fucking offensive coordinator that doesn't know how to coach a quarterback. Right? He'll let a Hall of Famer go and tell him what he's going to do, but Hackett can't fucking coach. And this great defense, Miami doesn't even have like a chain is still on the mend a little bit. He's not 100%. Tyreek Hill was on the bench, and you still let these guys put up 30 on you. I thought you were a great defensive juggernaut, and you weren't going to let teams do this to you. But oh well, the Jets suck. I don't know why anyone would ever want to play there. It's just the Jets and the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. It's just you guys are fucking awful, and you will continue to be awful. And I'm going to be in the old age home saying, I remember when these guys sucked when I was young.
It's
fuck with that.
the other thing that made me laugh was the Bears yesterday. I didn't take them. I fucking stayed away from those cocksuckers. Like the fucking Cleveland Browns, they're pretty good. With old Joey Flacco at the helm, come out of nowhere. Who knows what can I'm not gonna, and the other guy's not around anymore. So you can kind of cheer for the Browns a little bit right now. I know our friend of the show, the fan of the van, Jim Plotner, he's probably not cheering for the Browns, but you know what? I gotta give them a little bit of credit right now. They got Joey Flacco fucking doing some damage. Big comeback win yesterday. The massage guy is not around anymore. Don't want to say his name anymore because it's easy fodder. But the Cleveland Browns are pretty good.
The Browns and the Bengals. Like there must be some in that Ohio water, right? The Bengals are showing me. I can't believe.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're not. I never have them pegged as a tough team that digs deep and figures it out. But they're doing it without Joe Cool there, and so both. I hate to do it because I don't like either team. The Browns and Bengals are really showing me something, and that they're in it for each other because the injury woes for both those teams, like losing running backs, losing starting quarterbacks, and they're figuring out a way to win and playing pretty decent football coming down in December when it means the most. So, if you can take that kind of drive and whatever it is that's going, the mojo that's going on with those Ohio teams and put it in like a team like Buffalo, then we're talking totally different playoff scenarios here right now because they're not letting the injuries get them down.
The one thing I think about that Browning kid that's playing for Cincinnati right now, I get the enthusiasm. You won in overtime and blah blah blah. I get it. Like you're excited. Like it's a big win and there's emotion and you're back in the league and you're back playing again and you feel wrong there and all it is. But I don't think that it's ever the right look to go in front of the camera and start swearing because they're playing Minnesota. Don't ever cut me. Should never cut me, and how he was going on and on. Dude, karma's quick, and the NFL has short memory because you do that, like next week, you're going to find out why they cut you. Or but you know what I mean? Like it's one thing to be confident, one thing to be excited, but cool it. Just cool it because you don't have a job in 6 weeks. Right.
And Minnesota's going to be looking for a quarterback, right, in the thing, and you're going to be wanting
someone else might want a quarterback, but you know what? Shut your mouth because you know what? You're still an employee. Shut up. And you're not just an employee of the team you're playing for. You're an employee of the league, and that's what people don't understand. When you sign an NFL contract, you have an NFL contract, not a team contract. Like you can get traded and everything else. So when teams go, you know what? That guy can fuck right off. Just maybe cool a little bit. Like I love the enthusiasm 100%, but sometimes just, just go, I won, let the numbers speak for itself, let your record speak for itself. You don't need to go in front of the camera and pound your chest. That's my opinion with all these guys who do that. Like all that. Like it's
I hear you, but yeah, you don't know.
I get it, but I also on the other side, old man get off my lawn. That's me, right?
Yeah, and maybe promises were made, and he was let down the path. Like I don't know what happened there. So let the kid have his moment, and it's good to see, and he's definitely guaranteed himself a job for next year. Like even
somewhere.
Probably with a 50% chance of starting someplace next year. Like he's better than Gardner Minshew, who I like, and I love that fucking kid's moxie. He's better than the Patriots quarterback. He's better than the Jets quarterback. He's better than a lot of other fucking quarterbacks that are playing in the league right now. So, just mind your P's and Q's, guy.
We talk about this a lot, Dave, but when they see guys like Jake, like when NFL quarterbacks and guys coming out of college, when they see these guys who were like third and fourth fucking retreads, when they see them succeeding, our other quarterbacks like, oh fuck, I'm not going to get paid. Do you think that goes through someone's mind? Has to. It has to.
You would think. Well, someone like Fields in Chicago, right? Like, what are you? You're. It's next year's his last year on this contract, and you've had 2 years to prove it or move on, and he's like, well, you see, I can be good, but I can also be really fucking shitty. How are you supposed to compete with that? And you see this Browning kid just digging deep, making all the throws and leading his team to wins.
Well,
like, who's better, Fields or Browning? Like, Fields.
There's a kid out in San Francisco who's probably going to win the MVP, who's just getting nothing, right? Not nothing, but paid next to nothing, right?
DeVito money. Yeah.
Like, I think quarterbacks are going to get a real rude awakening. A real rude awakening very soon.
Yeah, you got to think.
Do you think, they're like right now as the season's progressing to week 16 we're in now, or 15, I think it just got done. Do you think that there are a ton of GMs sitting with owners going, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Why am I giving that guy 35? Why am I giving that guy 30? And go on and on the way through. Like, there's got to be a ton of owners like honestly looking at their GM saying, and the GM's probably, like, when it comes to money that big, that the GM doesn't have carte blanche to sign those contracts.
Right,
like
they have to get
ownership's fucking. They have to get the CEO, the CEO, and the owner's blessing to sign a guy for an employee for $40 million a year. But there's got to be a few owners thinking, Jesus, what the fuck? And probably not mad because he'll take some ownership of himself. But there's got to be some meetings right now happening across the league. Like, what the fuck were we thinking? There has to be.
There has to be. Arizona and San Diego, the LA Chargers are the first two that come to mind immediately, right? Like, you guys are doing fuck all with high priced talent that you sign these guys to. I wonder though, on the flip side of that coin, does Pat Mahomes go in if Casey doesn't win the Super Bowl this year and they lose because Kadarius Toney drops another ball and
they have mid-level players because they're paying one guy too much.
Yeah,
not and too much. They're paying one guy more than the team can handle. Right.
And does Pat Mahomes go in and say, "Okay, I'm going to take a $15 million
let's restructure my contract, whatever
but I want a lineman
and this thing on the backside,
and I want two guys that can catch the ball because I am sick and fucking tired of Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster and fucking Kadarius Toney, like these fucking smelts. It's hurting my legacy. We can do better than this. Even what's his nuts is playing for Carolina now. That was so good for so long. Adam Thielen out of Minnesota, right? You have Kirk Cousins and these guys, and I don't even know what the fuck's going on with Minnesota because they let Dalvin Cook go, they let Adam Thielen go. I don't know who they're paying to be so fucking average either. So I don't even know if it's fucking talent on the field anymore or is it coaching. Like I don't even know. Football is such a mystery to me these days. And so I don't even know who's a good coach anymore from year to year. I don't know who has talent.
I think right across sport, the talent on the field thinks that they're bigger than the coaches are, and the coaches are at a point now they're at Midland, right? They don't know what they are anymore.
Right. And then also too, because the owners want to add another game. The owners want to do this. The owners want them to travel to London, to Brazil, to fucking Stuttgart.
I was going to ask you before, right when I turned TV on down here, and I was thinking about some things to talk about tonight. And I know it was 16 games forever, and it was 15 at one point, and now it's 17. And speak with your head, not your heart. Is the NFL season too long?
No, absolutely not. what they got to do though, because of where I was going with that.
Because you're playing with a lot of fucking third and fourth and fifth and sixth and fucking 19th stringers and guys who were probably playing the fucking CFL this year.
Well, here's the thing. Like where I was going with that point
is there's not enough depth on any team. There's not enough quarterbacks. There's 30 NFL teams, whatever it is. There isn't 60 quarterbacks, and we agree on this. And it's a war of attrition. Blah, blah, blah. But if I'm paying $200 a fucking seat, I don't want a war of attrition. I want the best in the fucking field because every team gets hurt and every team has problems. The NFL season's way too fucking long, man. They got to cut it down to 14, and they never will. They never will. They got to cut it down to 14 fucking weeks because it's too long. So you're seeing shitty fucking sports right now on TV. It's shitty.
So where I was going with that point, the owners are always looking for more different ways to increase the revenue stream. The owners are making more money than they ever have, but they want to keep every penny. No owners as cutthroat as the NFL owners either. They'll fuck over a player, their pension plans. They'll fuck them over here. They'll fuck them over on the practice squad. They'll fuck the players over every time. So when they want to add another game, when they want to add travel, the only thing that the NFLPA comes back with is like, we'll give us more money. Well, you're not getting more money. Well, then we want less practice time. We want less games. There's so many mistakes I'm seeing in NFL football right now are mental mistakes. And it's because the players aren't practicing as much. The players aren't as tuned as they are as much. Like, that sorry for beating. I'm not sorry. Beating up on Tony, like that, lining up offside like he did the other day. That's pure mental mistake, and shit like that gets worked out in practice and repetition. That drives me fucking nuts. How come he's not in the practice facility catching 400 balls a day with an assistant coach whipping with the jug machine? Because he doesn't have to. Because he's going to make this kind of money. If the owners aren't going to commit to the players becoming a better team, why the fuck should the players care to be a better player for that team?
Because it's their
right?
job.
Well, it's their job, but they're getting $6 million, right? I'm out of here. They and don't tell me for a fucking second that little guy playing QB for Arizona, that when they put in that you can't play your video game clause. For sure that was in there. Oh, that was just rumors. No, for sure it was in there. If you see fuckers like that are so heavily reliant on their natural talent, that's not what wins games. That's what makes a big play and gets you on the fucking highlight reel. But those 3 picks, because when you're throwing to the wrong shoulder of a receiver, when you're reading the wrong routes, when you don't know how to read a defense, that shit comes from practice, and you have to be dedicated. And you can tell the quarterbacks that are good at it, like Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning, like Russell Wilson used to be. Like Aaron Rodgers, like these guys are. But
anything in life, Dave, anything in life, if you want to get better at it, sometimes you got to do it on your own time and your own volition to get better at anything. Like sometimes you got to read a fucking book.
And I understand. If
these guys aren't good enough, they're not committed to fucking to betterment of the team. They're only there for their fucking their brand. It's not the owner's fucking fault.
But what about the fact
if the game is shitty? The game is shit. There's some shitty fucking teams out there. Like there were some games yesterday are absolute fucking duds.
And
they're getting worse, and they're getting worse as season progresses. Get it down to fucking
not as much practice time as there used to be. There's not as much practice time as there used to be, and that's a simple fact, right?
Then go out and practice on your own. If you want to be an all-time elite, these guys are all making so much fucking money. They don't even give a fuck.
They're actually not.
They don't care.
They're cutting fucking running backs because they're due to be $12 million a year next year. I get it. That's a lot of money. But when you see your quarterback making 40, like what the fuck? So I got 2 more years at this.
No, I get that. No, I
$8 million, and no matter what I fucking do, I'm going to get cut. So no matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to get fucking cut in a year and a half. So fuck you. Just hand me the rock, and I'll do what I can. I understand why they want to
No, I don't
fucking.
know, like,
But we're seeing it, right? Like I honestly believe.
well, and that's
these
what
are
I'm
the
getting at.
reasons
But
we're
at the end of
seeing.
the day, like the end of the day, when I'm paying $250 a fucking seat and it's fucking terrible football this time of year and it's fucking 25 below, fuck you. Like you saw it yesterday. Carolina's a shitty football team, but you saw it in Carolina where there's no one at the fucking game. Nobody. Like, and so people are like, I'm not paying for this shit.
You know, and football does not give a. They certainly don't give a fuck about the fan in the stands because
No,
now you know
it's all TV and marketing, and 100%. No, it is
right because you know, like imagine, let's pretend you are a Carolina fan from Canada, right? And you plan your trip. We're going to go down there at Christmas, and you know they got the Christmas Day game, and then they get flexed to Boxing Day. Well, fuck. Now I got to change my flights. I got to change my hotel reservations. I got to do this. I got to do that. Right? It's. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the fan in the stands. Because you know what? Okay, sell your ticket on StubHub, and then they're still going to get their $20 beer and hot dogs, right? They don't care. The NFL, the owners don't care what the product looks like either. Otherwise, they wouldn't dilute the product. Otherwise, they'd pay for practice. Otherwise, they would make more money available to the players to attend more practices, right? And instead of trying to go out and make a brand for themselves and try and do something outside the sport that they're already making a shit ton of money, but they also, a lot of these players too, know that you're going to be out of this league by the time you're 28 too.
But wouldn't you want, as a player, okay, we're only allowed to practice X amount of times a week. We only do this, and then in the off season, there's OTAs. Like, wouldn't you want to have some kind of a legacy when you're gifted an opportunity? Not gifted because they work hard to get to it. But wouldn't you want to work a little harder? Say, hey, why don't we go over to the high school over here and do some like, let's work on something. If you want to be a professional and an all-timer, like, yeah, I made fucking $5 million this year, but who the fuck am I? It's another fucking guy who played in the NFL. Well, if you're gonna do it, do it. And especially if your team is close and you have a chance to do something, why be just average when you could go over that hump? Because the NFL is average. You have a chance. Like the Buffalo Bills are 8-7 right now. They have a chance to do something special at 8-7. Why not fucking go out and do some things on your own and say, you know what, let's fucking try something here? No, I don't know.
I do hear what
like
you're
I'm sure
saying.
I'm sure fucking there's a NHLPA has something that says you're only allowed to practice many times a week, but Sidney Crosby's on the ice after practice.
I get that,
right, and he's an all-timer.
For football to work,
probably not.
For football to work, it's not about that. It's not about working on catching, right? It's about knowing the playbook. It's about knowing the blocking schemes. It's knowing your role when you're not going to get the ball. For a running back, it's like where's the gap supposed to be in the line, right? It's something that has to be worked on as a unit, working as one. You can only lift so many weights and squat and catch so many balls.
I understand that. So why not do it?
Because these guys are so beat up after a game. Some of them pretty much need a fucking wheelchair to get off the field. So you need a couple recovery days, right?
Well, I mean, reading a book doesn't fucking take fucking legs.
And I don't know, but you got to think like study, like the film study has to be first and foremost, and then after that, it's just absolute repetition and being comfortable with your teammates on both sides of the ball, because this is such a fast, skilled, violent game that you can be looking like an asshole pretty fucking quick out there. Just ask the Dallas Cowboys, right? Never mind a team like the Jets or the Panthers who fucking won. Fuck the NFC South sucks.
They fucked me this weekend, the cocksuckers or whatever.
Any given Sunday, right? That's why they say it. And you know, unless you're going to show up and be dedicated, you're not going to have a chance.
Well,
and
that's
maybe
just
it
it.
goes
Like,
back to the Bills. Yeah.
what dedication do most of these teams have?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a fuck that guy. I was watching some highlights. Kenny Pickett.
Your main man, Kurt Warner, was just on my television right here. You love Kurt Warner.
Guy. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. That's why it made me laugh.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Just as you said, fuck that guy, Kurt Warner came on my television right here. That's funny.
Him and his wife look exactly the same. It might be his wife, right?
He got longer hair now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that
he does not her.
Pickens, the receiver. If that guy isn't getting a ball thrown to him, he has zero fucks. I don't know. I don't even know the thing, but I rewound it. A Pittsburgh guy was running towards the end zone. I think it might have been Mitch or Maggie Malone or whoever the fucking quarterback that went in after Trubisky. And Pickett. Is it Pickett? Pickens had a chance to block, and he is literally standing there getting out of the fucking way. I'm sure, Jim, if you're hearing me, that you know exactly the play I'm talking about. That Pickens needs to get gone. So either Tomlin's lost control of that team, which I think
he lost control of that team. It's time to move on.
But that Pickens is a cancer. He can get fucked and stay fucked.
It's time to move on. There's no getting around that. Dave, let's get to our 3 Fs of the NFL week 15 it was this week. Frauds, favorites, and fuck that team. What do you got?
Well, I have no reason to change from a Baltimore San Fran Super Bowl. San Fran manhandled the Cardinals, which the
NFC
Cardinals
is San Fran. They have to blow it. They would have to fucking fucking.
It's them and everybody else. Right?
It ain't close right now because you have two guys who are MVP candidates on the same team.
Yes,
right. And McCaffrey scores when he wants to. It seems.
Yeah,
right?
And you got 3 other Pro Bowlers just on the offensive side. Never mind their top-notch defense.
No, that team is real good. That
team's a wagon right now. And Baltimore beat up, I'm going to call them a fraud, the Jacksonville Jaguars. What have they shown us lately? I get it that T. Lawrence is a little bit hobbled right now.
I tell you, but the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence is an absolute fucking fraud. He ain't that good.
Yeah, and even the Jag defense was supposed to be pretty good.
He's actually yes. There's some holes with the rest of the team, but you know what? When you're supposed to be a great quarterback, you play through those holes. Lawrence doesn't play through those holes. He doesn't. He's not that good.
And kind of the same thing as I was saying about Dallas, right? In December is when you got this shit figured out, and you're supposed to be able to give these guys games. You just got beat up on the road. At home. They came there and that game wasn't close. 23-7. Like it wasn't that game was never in doubt of who was winning that game. And Lamar Jackson, fuck, that guy is so good. He's just talented. He's playing even on his runs. He's running smarter. He's not taking big hits. And Jacksonville, according to the stats, have a pretty decent pass rush, but they couldn't get him to the ground yesterday. So, sorry, Garrett. The Jags are frauds.
They're fraudulent. My fraudulent team is Dallas Cowboys. To get boot stomped the way they did against that was a 7-7 team. Yes, we talked about Buffalo already on and on, but I've been touting fucking Dak Prescott and the Cowboys for a number of weeks now. And that team, they looked like they were the Dallas Cowboys before Jerry Jones took over. They were bad, and they got stomped. That team is fraudulent because just if you think about what the Buffalo Bills rushed on the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, if the let's just say for sake conversation, because that's what podcasts are, conversations. If the 49ers played the Cowboys at Levi Stadium in Santa Paula, whatever it is, How many yards would fucking McCaffrey get against that fucking rush or that defense?
Well, they played earlier on in the year, and it was
300.
Yeah, as many as
now. McCaffrey just run and run and run and run.
Mm-hmm. As many as you want.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, that's that. It's the 49ers. They're my favorite right now, and they're NFC champions. If we were to no one's touching them. They're just better than everybody else right now, and it's not close. It's actually quite crazy how good they are, and with a quarterback who's only making $700,000 a year.
And we got a big game this weekend. Baltimore's in San Francisco, so I'm quite looking forward to that game. I wonder how it's going to play out. But that's your Super Bowl preview as far as DTV is concerned right now.
Do you sit? Do you not put out your best? I just thought about this.
Like kind of play possum a little bit.
Play possum a little bit because you know what? San Fran's the best in the NFC, so their playoff aspirations that's where they are, right? That game means nothing to them next Sunday, like not a fucking thing. Yeah, you want to win, you don't want to get embarrassed, but you also could play a little bit stupid.
Yeah, it's a game you definitely want to show up and test things. But this is also like you're not
win or lose or in the booze. It's Christmas. Who cares?
Yeah, you're not blowing off the dust on all those trick plays, right? You're definitely keeping a portion of the playbook.
Keep the guys healthy, whatever. Yep. Fuck, you don't go home and have some turkey. It's Christmas.
And let's see some tendencies here. Let's see what we can figure out if we play them again. Because if we play them again, it's going to be for all the marbles, and we definitely don't want to go in there with showing them everything we had in December.
Who's your we've done frauds, we've done favorites. Who is your fuck that team for Week 15 in the National Football League?
As I look at the list, I'm surprised I don't have this team on. So it would be an absolute travesty if I didn't get these guys on. Because I shit on this team on a very regular basis. I've shit on them a couple times today. From the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals, you're a joke of a franchise. You and the Jets and the Chargers, just whatever the fuck you're doing, just go Costanza style and do the opposite for a season. See how it works for you, because what you're doing now and what you've been doing for the last fucking 20 years, it just ain't working. Just ain't working.
It is crazy how that all turns out. Hey, you're not good. Like, you're just not fucking good, and it's the way it turns out. My fuck that team is no fault of their own, and it's one of those. It comes back to my football pool, which it usually turns out to do that. But my fuck that team this week is definitely 100%. The Carolina Panthers. How dare you decide to win a fucking game in front of 2,200 people, whatever the fuck stadium you call it? Like, you finally win a fucking game, and you're absolutely fucking awful. Like, absolutely awful. Second win of the season, I think. Like, and now you want to win. You got your backup quarterback, so your starting guy like that. Fuck them. Fuck the Carolina Panthers. Fuck them.
And fuck the Falcons as well. Like, how dare you lose that game?
How dare you lose that game? Like, because you fucked that whole conference or that whole division about 3 weeks ago. I think we had it. And you fucked all of them. Like you did. And so I should have listened to that.
Yeah. What a bunch of fuck.
And I should have listened to you, but I didn't. Yeah. Fuck me. Like, for the Falcons to lose a game like that, because they were still in playoff contention. Like,
they were leading the conference.
Yeah.
They had the tiebreakers. They were in first place, for fuck's sake.
And to lose a game for a team that would probably lose the fucking UFC fucking dinos. Fuck off. Yeah, so Atlanta bad. Falcons. Fuck the Falcons. Fuck the Panthers. Fuck them all. I was so fucking. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. When I was watching scores yesterday, as I got back to the Empire Clinic, there, I was like, oh fuck. Like I said, it was a whoopee cushion. I sat down and fuck. Yeah, it was one of those deals. It's funny. It's just funny.
But speaking of the NFC South, tip of the cap to Baker Mayfield. He put his big boy pants on, and I heard it today. It's as far as the QBR rating, he had
fuck
a perfect
the Packers too.
Fuck the Packers. So tip of the hat to Baker. Only him and Aaron Rodgers have ever had a perfect QBR rating game in Lambeau history, and Baker Mayfield put on his big boy. Baker can ball. It's just
I agree. I think Baker Mayfield's a very serviceable quarterback.
Yeah, he's
very serviceable.
Yep, he's a better Gardner Minshew.
Like we got it. We actually maybe I'll do that this week when I get a second. We'll sit down and see Heisman Trophy quarterbacks that are still in the NFL and see where Baker Mayfield's stats add up with guys who are still playing the NFL because he's serviceable. Like he's good.
Oh, I'd way rather him.
I wouldn't pay him fucking $15 million, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd way rather him than Thigh High in Arizona there. Like, yeah,
it's not like fucking Green Bay Packers. Fuck me. Because everybody was jerking Jordan Love off too, last week. Oh fuck, Love. Oh, he's great. And look now, what's their record? 7-8.
Yeah, I think that kicked.
They're still making plays. That division's fucking terrible too. Everybody hacks on the AFC and NFC South. How bad is the NFC North?
It's pretty bad. Well, the Lions just beat my Broncos, so the Lions are 10-4.
Well, it's like the fucking Flames beating the Oilers for fuck's sakes. Who gives a fuck?
Right, and then you got the Bears, the Commodores, the Cardinals, and the Panthers. Right, those are all just fucking bad. There's so many bad teams right now. Like a full, it's more than a third. A full third of this league
is bad.
Is not good. Like, how did the Jets win 5 fucking games? One of them was to the Broncos, right? My Broncos beat some good teams, but you look at all these smelts that they lost to. They've lost to the Jets. They lost to the Commodores. Fuck, they lost to the Raiders. Fuck. See, it's those games when you play a shitty team, you got to beat a shitty team. Do that. And I realize that's what you say. You're gonna win the ones you should. And then let's see what happens when you play the better teams. But you got in football more than any other sport, you got to win the games that you're supposed to win.
Or maybe you're just shitty too, and you don't fucking admit it. Don't want to admit it.
Or maybe you're just shitty, and it's not your day. Who knows? Fuck. It's a mystery.
Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and buy yourself fucking football tickets to go watch some shitty football because that's what we got going on here around the National Football League. There might be some good games on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and everything else, but save your money. Don't go watch those games. Go watch a hockey game or something else. I don't know.
Yeah, the Hurricanes are good. The Carolina Hurricanes. Stay away from those shitty Panthers. And what do you do? What do you do if you're a Washington fan? Because Ovi's not scoring. The Commodores are shit. Riverboat Ron's getting fired. They're moving the rink. Pets' heads are falling off. The Wizards are never good.
They are moving the rink, eh? They're going to Virginia.
That's over the river. Yeah. And Washington fan is mad as hell. But
let's talk about that next segment.
Okay.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod, that's 1420pod, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Dave, December the 18th, another coach got fired in the National Hockey League yesterday. DJ Smith of the Ottawa Senators was kindly told that his services were no longer required behind the bench of the Senators. Things aren't going so well. They have a lot of guys under long-term contracts. The players are there, so he's gone. You had 3 other coaches got let go. We talked last week about Craig Berube of the St. Louis Blues got let go after winning a Stanley Cup in 2019 with the St. Louis Blues. You had, what was his name out in Edmonton? He got let go. Woodcroft. He got let go in Edmonton earlier on this season. And then Dean Evison out in Minnesota a week and a half ago. And then there's some other guys who are on the ins and outs. I mean, a lot of guys let go in the last couple of years. Dave, I find it absolutely amazing because if you put, I bet you if you went down to wherever land and played Sports Select, I don't know who the Senators. I think the Senators are in Phoenix tomorrow night. I would put probably $1,000 that says the Ottawa Senators, and it's not because they're playing Phoenix Coyotes, but because the coach boost, no matter what, every single fucking time, they're not every single time, you know what I mean? Every time an NHL coach gets fired, the next game, the new head coach wins that game. It is unbelievable. The coach boost is an absolute thing. And the Oilers aren't a better team because they have a new coach. They're not. They're really not. Dean Evison, I'm sure he pled to his goaltenders, to Marc-Andre Fleury, I can't remember who the other guy is there in Minnesota. I'm sure he said, can you please make a save for us tonight? Can you please do that? Because every time all these things that happen, the new coach gets those things to happen. Why do you think that is?
Because, like we always say, the only thing a coach can control, he can't control the roster. He can't control how much you're getting paid, but he can control ice time. And players want ice time. They do want to play. They don't want the embarrassment of sitting up in a press box. So if this new guy gets in and you were a dog in the doghouse of the previous coach, now's your chance to play for some more ice time. And then that's why it lasts about 4 or 5 games. And then either the new coach may or may not figure it out, but until a coach actually straps on a mask and some pads, he's not saving that fucking puck, right? So that's the case in Edmonton. You know, I don't think this Knobloch guy is any kind of goalie whisperer, but they're getting some soft sell. But this Evanson now in Minnesota, and I don't know how. Like Berube was pretty soon. We don't know how those other two are going to work out. People want ice time. These players want ice time, and if it's a chance for the players to start fresh. And who knows why they're playing like dog shirt? Who knows exactly why this coach got fired? But it gives you a chance, and then that's why it's rare that it lasts a long time. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, when you're St. Louis and Minnesota, what was your realistic expectations going into this season anyways, right? Maybe playoffs? So you got to look at yourself that way with that intellectual honesty to see exactly what kind of team we got here. And if you don't like the mood, like if it's way worse than you expected, but there's no way you can tell me that any management person in Minnesota or St. Louis thought they had a legitimate shot at a deep run at the Cup this year. There's zero way you can tell me that.
And that's the thing that I find odd about when these coaches get fired, when they have a bunch of younger kids who sign NHL contracts and long-term contracts at $7, $8, $9 million a piece, because that's a huge chunk of change in National Hockey League. It's not NBA money, Major League Baseball money, or NFL money for most of these guys, right? But I always find it odd when a player signs, because yes, you're not going to say no to a contract. I get that, so don't at me with this. But when a kid signs a 7-8 year deal, he knows he's going to outlast the coach. Like there isn't many contracts. There's not many players in any sport that the coach outlasts. Like I can't think of 3, right? When it comes down to it. But you got it. Like when it gets to a point when the coach gets fired, I think that there's a little bit of a guilt on the players that like, I got a contract This guy's on a 2 or 3 year deal. It's his first time being a coach, whatever it might be. I'm making $9 a year for the next 8 years. I'm guaranteed money. I'm guaranteed. You can't, and I think a lot of these coach boosts that happen throughout the National Hockey League, I strongly believe that a lot of the times there's a lot of these players playing a big fucking weight of guilt on their shoulders.
Yeah, I actually never thought about that because, is there guilt then when you hated the coach? Like, how many Calgary Flames were guilty that Daryl Sutter wasn't asked to come? I get it was the mid-season. I don't think anyone felt guilty about that one. So, I never thought of it that way. But at the same time, if there's a little bit of guilt for playing so shitty that you just cost a man his job, who's still getting paid, by the way, right? It's not
Most
like
times,
he's
yeah.
Right all the time. You got to.
Most coaches don't get fired when they got 5 years left in their deal. It's not like the Babcock situation. We had 5 years at $6 million, right? If Babcock was getting $6 million in, say, hates keep throwing Arizona in there. If Babcock was still getting $6 million in Arizona, he would have been getting $6 million in Arizona. He would never got fired. But Toronto had money to burn, so they could pay it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It makes me wonder because it made me think of something else when you said that these players might be actually playing a little bit harder because of guilt. What about so I think they're playing a little bit harder because they want to get on the good side of the new coach and get some more ice time. But what if this actually kind of fractures the room? Because I also got to guess a lot of players really liked the coach that was out of his way. Like Daryl Sutter was the rare duck where everybody in the room hated that fucker, except for Lucic, and he was gone anyways. So. And what good was he doing, right? Locker room leader, like hit the bricks, like you're slow. Thank you for your service. But that kid that got booed in St. Louis, who gave the "he ain't my coach anymore" remark, right? Like there has to be someone on the team that I realize it's not a lot, but there's a couple guys on the team that were on that Stanley Cup team that Berube delivered for that team. That has to piss them off, no? And then now the room is even more contentious.
Well, it's not just that so much, Dave. It's a lot more. I think with that situation is that, like, you know what, that St. Louis fan base has had a pretty good. They've been close to no cigar for a long time. You remember the Bobby Orr flying through the air, the Bruins and the St. Louis Blues back in 68, 69, whatever it was. But they've never been to the finals. And they finally got a Stanley Cup. But they were looking at the jar through those years of Brett Hall and
with Mike Keenan, Grant Fuhr,
Al McInnes, and Chris Pronger, and on it went. They were close, and they never got it done because that division was so strong with Detroit and St. Louis, Detroit and the like that were so great. And then so they finally won one, and then this new kid starts bad mouthing the coach that fucking won one. Bad look, man. It's a bad look. Know your role. Silence is golden. Silence is golden, dude. But there might have been a reporter, and I don't know enough about it, but there was probably a reporter who knew enough about it to push the buttons a little bit to say, okay, I'm going to dig a little bit. I'll dig a little bit. I get it, what this guy's talking about.
It is one of those things. It definitely wasn't misconstrued because he said it. But you're right. The kid didn't think it through, right? And apparently this kid was one of the kids that was in Berube's doghouse. And then so when you say that, he thinks he's just saying something plain and nondescript, but it just comes off as like, yeah, don't let the door hit you on the ass, Berube. It's how it came out.
Yeah.
And
I have a contract, you don't.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until after the game when they were talking to him, like, and at that point I did feel bad for that kid because you don't get that emotional and worked up without remorse, and that 100%. That was real remorse, and And even though he might have been somewhat flippant when he said that's not my coach anymore, you could tell by his reaction in his post-game interview that that's not how he meant to come off.
Context, delivery, and intent.
Yes. And then so his his
delivery sucked.
Yeah. And his intention was just to say basically no comment.
And it's probably the first time we talk all the time about how these younger guys they don't get it. Right? It's probably the first time in his life he's ever been questioned about anything in his life.
What do you think of Berube? Yeah. What do you think of Berube not being here anymore? He did a lot for the franchise. I'm sad to see him go. I hope he lands on his feet. Next question.
Simple.
Like, why are you asking me? He ain't my coach anymore. That's just.
And on that, there's probably the media team in St. Louis, because this kid might have said something behind the scenes, or like, because everybody likes Chief. His nickname is Chief, Craig Berube. Everybody loves him throughout the National Hockey League for 30 years now. And this kid must have said something. So maybe it was the Blues media team goes, all right, let's let this little prick fucking sink. I don't care. Who cares?
Well, because he just signed a pretty fat deal a year or two ago. So
8.5 for 7, I think it was.
Yeah, pretty sweet little deal. So he's going to be there for a while. But now, like, here's some a little bit of crow. Let's see how he does after a good serving of humble pie, because Berube is a hard nosed but a player's coach, right? He won a fucking cup. As a midseason hire. So
played hard.
Yeah, with an edge.
He was a rough-nosed fucking player, man. That guy would take 10 punches in the face and throw one.
Yeah, right? He was a leader.
Yeah.
So on that Berube front, then, like, is he hired in Ottawa before New Year's Day?
I would.
Why wouldn't you?
I would. I would get some fucking. I'll get an AI of fucking Sheena Easton playing in the dressing room. See if we can revamp that thing.
Well,
Gloria going on. Yeah, find a karaoke bar in downtown Ottawa. Play Gloria. See if you can redo it.
Find your song. Why not? Gloria's taking. That's the blues song. Yeah. You can't use that one. But find your song. Maybe it's Crocodile Rock.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again. Why not? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to see Berube because what's Ottawa doing? Because Ottawa has a bunch of guys who already have contracts. Like they have their youth group, starting with Kachuk, Chikrin, the kid here, Ridley Gregg from Lethbridge here, who else is there? The 4 or 5 other guys. They have a lot of guys who are in fucking year 1 of their 8-year deals. So the players are there. They're not leaving.
Yeah.
And all the players have their contracts. So so you recycle coach after coach after coach.
And that's what they always say.
That's a fucked up situation.
Don't fire a coach unless you have a replacement in mind, right? Like, don't firing a coach for the sake of it's the thing. Like, if you don't have a solution, you don't have a problem, right? So our problem is we got a shitty coach. Well, what's your solution? Well, let's fire him. Then who's going to coach tomorrow?
Ottawa has always been they collect problems. They don't find solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Forever. And this is, the owner just paid $1 billion. I paid $1 billion for this fucking franchise. I get fucked over by the commissioner robbing me of draft picks for someone the previous regime did, the previous GM did. Well, then he had to fire his GM because he fucked him over, and now he has to.
Fire the coach whom I didn't fucking hire. So now we're starting.
And now I got it.
And I paid $1 billion fucking dollars for this.
And I'm signing fucking paychecks. I'm signing a game check for everybody in this goddamn office. I want everybody in the fucking auditorium, and I want them in there fucking yesterday.
That I didn't.
You lollygag around the office.
Lollygagging
around the weight room.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy, and and it's you wonder when this took a different turn here, but when these billionaires buy these teams and go, like, the layman like me and you fucking like, he just bought the Ottawa Senators, like, without having his own guy in place, and 'cause he's gonna like when you buy a team, like, so he's gonna lose money this year. He's going to lose money next year because, and he has a different idea. And he's going to fire the coach, going to fire the GM, which he did. Like, you got to be fucking out of your head to buy a fucking franchise. A non-successful franchise.
Yeah. Well, it's
unless it's just a business, right? Unless it's 100% a business where I can make this work. I'll have money here, there, blah, blah, blah. But when you're buying a fucking team that is going to lose, and you don't like the people in charge where they have contracts, so I'm going to lose more money, you got to be either so fucking rich or so out of your head. I don't know which one is the appropriate analysis.
I don't know. I kind of equate it to buying a new car, like buying a Ferrari, right? The first time you take it out, and then you go take your wife out for dinner, and you come back and someone fucking keys it. It's like, well, fuck. And then you come back,
I'll fix it.
Yeah, and then you get a flat tire on the way home. It's like,
well, I ain't gonna flat tire. I can fix it.
And then someone leaves the window open, and a cat goes in there and bursts a litter of kittens and takes a fucking shit in there. It's like, Jesus Christ! I just bought this fucking thing, and I got a flat tire, and now the interior smells like fucking cat piss. Like, what? That's not why I just dropped $1 million on a fucking car. That's not why I spent $1 billion on the Senators to fire guys, to get punished by the commissioner, to fire a coach, and to be in salary cap jail for the next 6 fucking years by a guy.
That's a very good analogy, Dave, because we have good friends who are in the car business, and the tail light guarantee. As soon as you drive a car off the lot, the guarantee's gone and the price went down. The Ottawa Senators might be the only franchise in sports history the exact same as a fucking as a taillight guarantee in a fucking car dealership. Honestly, because it just went down and down and down and down. And it's like, oh, I guess we're starting over. We'll get new tires, but still not. It's still not worth the same, right? Yeah. Because it's not the antique anymore. It's just a fucking used car.
It still has the new car smell, but it's now overpowered by the fucking cat piss.
No, it's good. I'll take you for a ride. We'll do Mainers. Trust me, we'll do Mainers. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you got to fucking roll the window down now.
Yeah, we'll do some Mainers. We'll put fucking Twisted Sister or fucking White Lion on the. We'll do Mainers. It'll be fun. Like, it's still old and shitty now, but we'll make it work. Yeah, it's crazy.
We'll make it work. It still drives fast. Like, what's next for those guys?
Like, the radio works and it's fun. There's windows, power windows.
Stereo, but yeah. But you got a big key scratch. You got to fucking do it on.
Yeah, we're 10 and 15, and I know, but right?
You're not buying they don't sell enough pine fucking window things to hang off the rearview mirror to get rid of a cat piss smell.
Jesus, the fucking the neighborhood cat. Did I tell you this last week? The cat, the neighborhood cat. I fucking opened the door, taking stuff outside, packing shit up, right? And I heard this bell, ding, 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 ding. What the fuck? I don't know, whatever. Fuck. And fucking Deanne's allergic to cats, and out of nowhere, fucking Archie, the neighborhood cat, he fucking run upstairs and fucking right underneath our bed. Like, holy fuck. Archie, come on. Oh, I couldn't believe it. It was just like, Jesus, fuck, man.
And what did you do? Did you fucking grab a piece of string or something, or what?
No, I just grabbed him by the neck and I fucking pulled him out and I went and rubbed Deanne's face with him, and it was good. It was fine.
That's a little ballsy grabbing a cat like that. Oh, man.
No, Archie's good. Archie doesn't want some love. Archie just feels neglected whoever in the neighborhood, whoever Archie. He's got orange hair like Archie Andrews, right? So, yeah, you just wonder where that Ottawa Senators franchise is going, because they haven't done they've been to the finals twice, I think, over there.
They've been to the finals once, because they were just the redheaded stepchild of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Battle of Ontario.
You bet.
They're just been around. They've been around since 1992 and haven't done anything. Like,
haven't done one cup appearance. Yeah.
What's crazy? Like, you like, I don't know how you think about this. We'll get into the who is betters here, but I still, because I'm old school, right? When I hear about like even this, like the San Jose Sharks, the Ottawa Senators, Tampa Bay Lightning, Minnesota Wild, those teams have been around for a long time. I still find myself thinking, well, they're an expansion team. Like I still think it's like I still think me personally, I still think of the 21 teams back in 1989, 1992. No, 1991 is when it changed, right? I still think of those teams, and that's fucking 40 years ago.
And that was like Sharks and Sens came in at the same time, didn't they?
The Sens and Tampa came in at the same time. The Sharks came in in 90, but that team got split from Minnesota with the Gunn brothers. There was a situation when Minnesota, half the players went here, half the players stayed. It was a weird situation. But yeah, 92, like the 92-93 season was Ottawa and Tampa. And I still
Minnesota and then so Minnesota's expansion.
Minnesota, San Jose. Minnesota was an expansion, and that's been 20 whatever years. And then who else you got there? And Atlanta came in, and now they're the Winnipeg Jets. And like I still think of those teams that, because actually last night me and Deanne were talking about this whatever thing, and I didn't know the Atlanta Thrashers were around for 11 years. I thought they were like 3 or 4 years. That was it.
Oh, I was going to say 10, but
I thought they were 3 or 4 because they were such a non-issue.
Who
like
cares? Bad name, bad jersey. They had
all of
Danny
it. Bad building, bad everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's talk of Atlanta getting a third team.
Again.
Right? Fuck. Well.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ is right. Oh, fuck.
But although.
I'm saying oh, fuck because Aaron's Eagles just gave up a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the game. You see that?
Funny.
Oh, Aaron. It does. But go ahead.
Eagles, fuck that team. It's maybe, going back the third time. I mean, I've never done it, but
third time's a charm.
Going third time's a charm. First time we weren't right for each other. The second time I wasn't right for you. The third time we learned from each other's mistakes. So maybe, just maybe.
And as long as the checks don't bounce, Gary Bettman don't fucking care. But how is Arizona's checks not fucking bouncing?
Because the NHL just covers them. Yeah.
We've talked about it before. We'll do it again some other day. Let's not get into that. Let's put a bow on this for the dead cat bounce on the fucking coaching change.
Speaking of put a bow on things, Dave, she's the Christmas season. Nothing but Christmas songs. 1 week today, you'll probably be having. Actually, you know what? You'll probably be toes up on your couch right now. A week from now, I had a belly full of Christmas cheer and everything else throughout the day. You may be playing some cards, maybe playing some cribbage, whatever you might be doing. But it's 1 week from Christmas. I personally, we'll get to what we're doing now is a little who is better Christmas style, but it's what's a better Christmas songs. What we're going to try to do. Do you like Christmas music? I personally love it.
I enjoy it. In fact, you know what? I got I took over DJ duties at the evening Christmas party. Oh no, it was fine, and then it was good. There was one guest. She was a guest of a guest. She was a +1, and she was around my age. And she was like, "Play this, play this, play this." I go, "Hey, no, like whatever. Oh, don't you have this? Don't you have that?" And then she started downloading songs, and then phone comes back in my pocket. You have even lost your fucking request privileges. So,
did you guys share a dart together?
Dart? No, fuck no. I bring my own darts. I don't share.
No, I mean, did you guys go out for a dart?
On my 18.
Or did you go out for a dart together? You didn't like her very much?
Not when she fucking got. Like, what do you want to do? Want to go through my photos too while you're at it? See if we have any shared contacts. Give me that fucking thing back. It annoyed me a little bit, but nonetheless, I digress.
Can we both agree that the worst Christmas, like we're doing Christmas like pop music, not like the fucking
Come on, ye faithful.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing pop music. We both agree that simply having a wonderful Christmas time is the worst one of all time.
If Paul McCartney can write a bad song, anyone can write a bad song.
That one's the worst one by Chuck. And I read
awful.
I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true, but I think it was the KGB used to use that as torture. That they fucking would play that simply and over and over and over until people would crack and fucking spill the beans.
Well, it only takes me 10 seconds before that stupid fucking synthesizer. I turn the channel on the radio immediately, or if it's on streaming, I skip. It's awful. Sir Paul,
I actually hate that. Dave, which Christmas song is better? Billy Squier, Christmas is the time to say I love you, or Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree?
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree in a heartbeat. That's a classic. Every time I hear that song too, I think of Home Alone. That's the song Kevin was playing when he had the fake people dancing at the party with the wet bandits scoping out the place. So give me Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Billy Squier, he's very underrated. Very underrated, in my opinion. But
I think Billy Squier's a group. Yeah, no, but I think it's he's a solo artist. I thought he was okay.
No, I like that. Christmas is a time to say I love you. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
It's going to be tough. There's a couple in there, but it's going to be tough. If you got a classic in there, that's probably going to rule the day with me. I'm just giving you a fair warning.
Which Christmas song is better? U2, Baby, Please Come Home, or Bruce Springsteen, Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
I really kind of dig that Boss one. U2, it's not even the best. It's not even the best version of that song. That belongs to Darlene Love. So you better be good for Goose and his Steak. That nice, big, deep voice. Whoever the fuck sang that, Clarence Clemens or whatever. Yeah. The sax player on the E Street Band. Yeah. This one goes to the E Street Band and the Boss. Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
I tell you what,
it's pretty good.
Those are both great. Like that fucking U2 song, I fucking dig that one, man. Since like 1991 or 92 that came out, I love that one. Like I love that Christmas song, but I also love the Springsteen one. But not for me, it's the U2. Baby, Please Come Home. Oh, I think that song is so good.
It's a great song, but like I said, I think it's the second best version of that song. So,
who do we got here? I got another one. What song is better? Run, Run, Rudolph by Bryan Adams or Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys?
Oh, those are both awful.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't dig on either one. I think Bryan Adams is one of the most overrated artists. Like, he hasn't had a good fucking song since Summer of '69, which was 50 years ago. No, 30 years ago. No, I'd say 35 years ago. I think Bryan Adams, once he made it big in the States, he really just didn't care anymore and just put out fucking hits. The Beach Boys, even though I like them,
Little Saint Nick.
It's not an overly good song, but I'm going to give this one to the Beach Boys and Little Saint Nick.
I quite like that Run, Run, Rudolph. I don't mind that song at all, actually. Run, Run, Rudolph. Yeah.
It's kind of almost a Little Richard type.
2 more to go. Dave, what song is better? John Cougar Mellencamp doing I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus or David Bowie and Bing Crosby singing Little Drummer Boy?
It's a combo, Little Drummer Boy, Peace on Earth with Bing and Dave. And I like John Cougar. I'm not overly crazy about that rendition, but I heard that one so much. I'm gonna give this one to Mellencamp. I'm gonna say Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Good tune. I don't. The reason why the Mellencamp song is upbeat and great and fun, and it's a song that we sang as kids, like your music class, and fuck, we all had the same voice, like your son used to have until puberty and stuff. But I always questioned the, especially I got older with niece and nephew. I don't have kids of my own, but that little drummer boy, it doesn't make sense. Do you think Mary was like, can that fucking little, I just got Jesus to fucking go to sleep. Can the little drummer just fuck right off? Like, I don't need him fucking walking around here waking up. Like, I've always had a little situation with, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make sense.
Well, that thing makes a lot of sense. Like, unless those camels had fucking... But honestly, the wise men, unless those camels had fucking hyperdrive, they didn't make it to the manger that fucking night. You think they stayed, like, he was born in a manger in a stable? Like, do you think they stayed there for 4.5 fucking years so these 3 wise men can make it there on their camels? And where's the little drummer boy? Like, is he in Bethlehem hanging out? Like, it's
there are definitely some flaws in the story.
Like, when you follow a star, like what star do you follow? And it's gonna be standing right over that. Like, I'm gonna be walking for a fucking zillion fucking years, and I still don't know. Like, am I underneath it now? How do you know when you're underneath a star? We're underneath them all.
There is no getting around. There are definitely some flaws in the Jesus of Jerusalem story. Mary and Joseph, and I'm not saying I know anything else different, but there's definitely some flaws in that story.
Well, and then you're fucking just gave birth to a manger, right? And then these 3 fucking jamokis on camels come and give you gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Like, where the fuck was this when I was looking for a hotel last week?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Give me a credit card number for the Super 8.
Yeah, fuck. There's an Airbnb right on the
Stay in a fucking manger. Fuck me with billy goat piss.
And frankincense.
And then some fucking asshole playing his fucking drums to wake my fucking kid up. Fuck me. Mary must have been pissed off, eh?
Give that fucking kid some frankincense and tell him to hit the fucking tricks.
Like, when Kaylee gave birth to Jasper, let's trade it for fucking Mary and Jesus. Like, what would Kaylee have said? Oh, so now you're here? Now you're here? I know Kaylee well enough.
Yeah, like, it would be it's sleep time, like, because look, Jasper's born, and everybody starts gathering around and like, ding ding, boom 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Fuck off.
Could you see what the fuck that is? Yeah, it's a little shirtless kid playing his drums outside. He wants to say thank you. Tell him thank you and hit the fucking bricks.
Get fucking grab Jesus.
Stop that fucking drumming.
One more to go. We'll call it a night. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, or Blue Christmas by the man, the myth, the legend, Elvis Presley. Because I tell you what, I watched this tonight, and I'm a big. I'll answer this first. I love that Mariah Carey song. I tap my toe to that every time. But when I see Elvis Presley in that fucking leather suit singing this song, singing Blue Christmas, that fucking kicks a lot of fucking ass. And there's no getting around. Elvis Presley doing Blue Christmas kicks the shit out of every Christmas song. They're not better songs, but how he does it kicks the shit out of all of it. All of it.
No one delivers a song on a live performance like the King. Right?
Leather suit really, singing a Christmas tune. Oh,
sweaty is fucking shit, but just shaking his moneymaker. He was the original shaking his moneymaker, right? All of those ladies left with just a big pile of panty soup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna That Mariah song is a hell of a pop song. It really, really is.
It's a toe tapper that puts smiles on people's faces.
And I 100% agree. But I have such a general distaste for Mariah Carey, the person. I'm going to give this one to the King as well.
Yeah, no, that. I was like I said, I was watching tonight. I was flipped like they had a thing playing this, like, oh yeah, and Elvis sitting there and just and he's so fucking like Elvis. Like we forget how cool that motherfucker was. Like,
oh yeah,
you got all fat and shit at the end and everything else, but my God, when he was at his peak, there was nobody now, before, since, or ever will be. Like at Elvis's peak, he was a man. Like just unbelievable.
He was the fucking king. Like and you know the thing he left his mark. Fuck, he was only 42 when he died. He was only 42. And it was because he was all popped up on pills and that kind of thing. So
bad business deals and everything else.
Well, no, but he never like he knew that, but he didn't. Like because he was just fucking kicking ass and taking names and eating Percocets and fried bologna sandwiches. He kicked a shit ton of ass to leave a mark like that in a 20-year career, right? Probably 22 to 42.
Unbelievable.
And everybody on the fucking planet knew his name.
Still does.
Still do.
Right? They still, when you Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. Up, yeah. Joshua knows who the King is, right?
Everybody. To this day.
Everybody does. Yeah.
Because actually there's I know Mom doesn't listen to this because Mom's a puzzle person, right? Christmas time, we sit around, we do whatever, do a few puzzles. And there's a drinking game that comes around when the puzzle gets too long. And McKinley, she asked me on Saturday if I'm taking care of Grandma's puzzle for the year. I said no. And then she sent me a picture of wasn't very Christmassy of herself and whatever. It's fine. But we're getting a Elvis Christmas puzzle for the that Margaret's going to just rolled in it, right? Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah,
fat in the white jumpsuit or more Jailhouse Rock skinny and
I think like Jailhouse Rock kicking ass and fucking Christmas the 1968 comeback special, one of those ones. Yeah,
not jumpsuit.
Not the Sands in Vegas the day before he passed away. Yeah, no, Elvis is something, man. That fucking guy, like he just crazy. It's crazy to the bitter end.
It is to think about the life that fucker led. Yeah.
There's I think we got one more before Christmas time on Wednesday night. I can't do it Thursday, obviously, but we got one more on Wednesday night. What do you got going on? What are you doing? What's your? I tell you what my family's coming out here for Christmas, except my brother. But what you guys doing for Christmas?
We're gonna play her close to the vest with my wife's family, and we got a couple little traditions we do. It's kind of nice. That it's on a weekend because then I can take extra days off during the week. So we'll have a nice little family break, get back to work for a couple of days, and we're going down to the great state of Montana. Speaking of which, the Grizzlies won their semifinal game. The Montana
big win, beat North Dakota State.
Beat North Dakota State, them pesky Bisons, and now they'll be playing. I want to say January 5 or 6. I'm not 100% sure when. In the national championship game. So congratulations to the University of Montana Grizzlies. But yeah, then for New Year's, we'll be spending it in Montana. Plan on doing some skiing there and lighting up fucking all the fireworks I can afford.
It's funny that like the NCAA Division 2 or Division 3, sorry. It's whatever.
It's FCS. It's yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
the FCS.
It's funny how they figured out how to get a champion
20 years ago
before the big money figured out how to do it. Odd.
Well, odd. You know, they haven't done it right yet.
You know why? You know why? Because there isn't big money in this one. There is big money in the other one. That's why.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be funny to hear that. This is another topic for another day. Like, you know, what bowl game gets a round one game? What bowl game? Like, so the Astroglide Bowl, like you get a thing like the Poinsettia Bowl,
They're gonna figure it out all the ways to get the same 4 teams in the end, anyways.
I'm pretty
It's
sure.
a joke. It's a joke.
Well, whatever. So I'm going to be watching some. Michigan plays the night game, so it'll be a short day of skiing on January 1st. No, Michigan and Alabama, on January 1st, yeah. So, we got a couple shows before then. We'll talk about that.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, maybe we'll get some guests on the show for Wednesday night. We'll figure something out. But yeah, it'll be the last show before Christmas and everything else. So it's a lot of fun tonight and everything else. Yeah, it's geez, another year gone by. Christmas. God damn.
God damn is right. And there's not a flake on the ground.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be a brown Christmas in Lethbridge, Alberta.
Because we'll talk off air, but I went and did a couple little things around town wearing flip-flops and and I was fine. Like it's not like because sometimes you wear flip-flops just to do things. Yeah. It's just like I'm just wearing flip-flops. Yeah. It's weird. It was weird. It's weird. It's really weird.
It's uncomfortably warm if that makes sense.
Not used to it.
Yes. 3 days before Christmas, not a flake on the ground.
Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other. More importantly, take care of yourself. See you around. You stick on the ice. What else, Dave?
Travel safe. Valentine, keep that stick on the ice. Don't swing at the high pitches. See you in a couple days, brother.
There we go. We'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday night. We'll get some guests out there. We'll have a festive Christmas special coming at you on Wednesday night.
Enjoy that puzzle, Mark.